The Arabian Nights, Night 1. The king has agreed to listen to the girl's story, and the girl begins. She says, "O king, there once was a merchant who was very prosperous and busy across the land, and one day he sat down to rest. And out of his saddlebag he pulled out a piece of bread and a date. And he ate the bread and the date, and he threw away the date pit. And suddenly an evil spirit appeared and said to the merchant, 'I'm going to kill you.' And the merchant said, 'Well, why?' And the evil spirit said, 'You threw away that date pit, and it hit my son in the chest and killed him, and now I'm going to kill you.' And the merchant said, 'But we all belong to God, and we only return to Him.' And the evil spirit said, 'No matter, I'm going to kill you.' And the merchant said, 'Well, I have responsibilities and family. Let me take care of all of my affairs, and I promise I will meet you at the end of the year.' And the evil spirit agrees. And the merchant goes home, and he talks to his family, and he takes care of his affairs. And then at the end of the year, he goes back to the same place that he met the evil spirit, and he kneels down weeping. And an older man appears with a gazelle and says, 'What are you doing here?' And he tells him. And then another older man appears with 2 dogs and asks what's happening, and he tells him. And then there's a dust devil, and the evil spirit appears again, and he sees the merchant, and he says, 'Stand up so I can kill you.' And the first old man with the gazelle goes to the evil spirit and says, 'If I can tell you a marvelous story, can I have 1/3 of the merchant's blood?' And the evil spirit says, 'If you can tell me a marvelous story, I will agree.' And the older man says, 'See this gazelle? This gazelle is my wife. The gazelle was my cousin, and I married her. And she couldn't produce a child. So I went with a concubine that produced a son for me. And years had gone by, and the concubine and the son left. And the gazelle, who also trained as a sorceress, turned the concubine and the son into a big fat cow and a calf. And they all met again. And the gazelle said to the older man, 'Sacrifice this fat cow.' And the old man goes over to cut the cow's throat, and it cries in pain, and he slaughters the cow. But there's no meat and there's no fat. It's only skin and bone. So the gazelle says, 'Kill the calf.' And the old man approaches the calf, which is his son. And the calf cries out in pain. And the old man says to the gazelle, 'I don't want to kill the calf.' And the gazelle says, 'Well, you have to.' And he says, 'Well, look what happened with the cow.' And she says, 'If you don't kill the calf, you are no longer my husband, and I am no longer your wife.' So with the knife, he approaches the calf. At this point, the sun is already rising, and the king realizes that he cannot kill the girl until he hears the end of the story.